and welcome to Morning Message for June the 23rd. Growing up in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, we used to do day trips, and very often those day trips would be to the Annapolis Valley. I really enjoyed those trips, and particularly to the Annapolis Valley, because we'd almost always make a stop at the historic site at Grand Pre, commemorating the expulsion of the Acadians. That was certainly an interesting story and one that I was familiar with at the time, but also it was a great place to play. And we would go any time of year. It didn't seem to matter. In the fall, winter, and spring, we would go as well. And one of my favorite things to do while we were there would be to climb the weeping willow trees that were beside the ponds at the Grand Pre historical site. Teresa and I were there recently, I say recently, last fall, and I took a look at those trees, and thankfully the first branch was out of reach, so I didn't even really seriously consider trying to climb those trees now. When I was a kid, I loved to do that. Jody and I would go up those trees. He always seemed to manage to get a little bit farther than I did. Probably wasn't safe, but these were the days before we thought too much about those kinds of safety issues. It was before seat belts were mandatory in the province. Lawn darts were probably not banned yet. If they had even been invented at the time, I'm not sure. Thankfully today, in our wisdom, as we learn that certain things might be unsafe, we ban them, or we put into place the things that need to be put into place to make them safer to use. We're wise like that now. I was thinking about safety issues as St. Paul's Parish considers reopening the church for in-person worship. We haven't made that decision yet. In fact, Parish Council will be sending out a survey to the members of the congregation to find out what the opinions of the members of the congregation are with regards to when and how and all those sorts of things. And we look forward to hearing that, and I think Parish Council will make their decision based on what they hear from that survey. But the really important thing is, regardless of the decisions that churches might be making about whether or not to start in-person worship, or restaurants opening, or whatever it is we happen to be doing, it's important that the people that might attend church do so with confidence. And nobody should feel pressure to return to their church just because their church is holding in-person worship. Safety is really important, and I can assure you that St. Paul's Church, and I'm pretty certain that this is true of most churches, none of us are going to open unless we feel confident that we have put into place the right practices in order to keep people as safe as possible. That'll be the criteria we use, and safety first, right? So I'm smart enough not to climb weeping willow trees anymore. I'd probably discourage children from doing that as well, and it applies to these sorts of things too in terms of COVID-19, that we need to feel safe. We need to be assured that everybody's doing everything they possibly can to keep us safe. So that's my pledge today, that as Parish Council wrestles with this particular decision, and I'm certainly not alone. I think it's true of every single Parish Council member that we're not going to vote in favor of reopening the church unless we feel as though we have put into place the best practices with regards to keeping everyone safe. So I just want to assure everyone of that, and on this day to wish everyone a merry and a happy and a blessed day. Amen.